All right, cool. We are live. One more click of all the things to go live on. Why won't it let me? There it is. Okay, cool. And now I can make this bigger. Hello and welcome. My name is Robert Lyon. Welcome to the Lyon Show. All right, cool. I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping, and then I'm going to get into a discussion about identity because I think it's a interesting topic. It's going to be mostly like a philosophical conversation. But I want to teach you how to use your identity to become successful. That's what it's all about. All right, cool. A little bit of housekeeping. The Lyon Show is in full effect. I've done 83 interviews on the show, which is pretty sick. But I want to get to 100 interviews, and then I'm going to do something kind of cool with the footage. So if you're interested in getting on my podcast, shoot me a message. If you guys have any recommendations, please share it out there with people that you think would be a good fit to come on the show. You know, it's mostly about, personal development, entrepreneurship, making money, all that good stuff. And the other thing is we got Power Brokers is in full effect. So it's a mentorship to teach you how to become a business loan broker. Now, business loan broker basically means you'll have your own financial business that you can start, which is super cool. So you'll be able to learn how to make money by getting other people access to money. A business loan broker is simply a middleman between businesses and the banks. And you can make, $10, $20, $30,000 a month or more from the comfort of your house, just basically connecting businesses to money. So it's a very cool way for you to make extra cash. You're also going to learn credit stacking. You're going to learn credit repair. You're going to learn everything about business funding inside that program, and then how to bundle it all together to start your own financial business, right? Which is super powerful. The other thing is if you go to Financially Abundant, we are doing done for you credit repair if you want it. We can also teach you how to do your own credit repair or on your own for just $50 a month. So check out financiallyabundant.com and check out powerbrokers.io. All right, cool. The other thing is day trading is going really well. So we're going to keep doing that. I've got a free day trading mentorship. I don't know how much longer it's going to be free for, but you can go to daytradingmentorship.com and you can join the school community or just shoot me a message and I'll send you over the info. All right, cool. So that's like the housekeeping. Just funding away, doing day trading, podcasting. I'm really focused on this public speaking kind of thing that I'm trying to do and just making more content for the people. People seem to really appreciate that. So that's what's up. Okay, so now I want to get into identity. Okay, identity is kind of a weird thing to talk about, but it's very interesting to me and I want to discuss it. So, when I think of how to start a conversation by identity, it's basically by destroying the illusion of identity to begin with. If you really get into meditation and you get into, a little bit deeper questioning of everything, you start to realize that there's layers to this reality, right? There's our skin, our outer layer. Then there's our mind, right? With the voices in our head, the conversation that we're constantly having with ourselves. And a lot of people believe that their identity is that, right? They believe that they are what they are. They just kind of go through life without really taking a step further. But if you really get into meditation, or if you really want to understand a little bit more about enlightenment, the truth is that we're actually behind the conversation inside of our minds. We are the observer, right? It's almost like I picture there's like a little tiny peephole in the back of our brains, right? Or my brain. That just watches and is connected to consciousness, right? And I believe that's where we have to start if we're going to discuss identity and how to use identity as a tool, right? So as opposed to thinking that our thoughts are us, or our emotions are us, or the chemical things that are happening all the time, our surroundings. Yeah, there's actually even a bigger level. There's the outer world, right? Our surroundings, the people, the things we interact with. There's us, there's our meat suit, our human bag. There's our thoughts. And then behind all that, though, is the observer, right? And the observer, when you're meditating, you're able to disconnect from your thoughts. And the metaphor I like to use is you're supposed to just kind of watch your thoughts go by like clouds, right? You're not supposed to attach any information to them. You're not supposed to grab onto them. You're just supposed to let your thoughts kind of go by. And when you first become aware or awake or able to disassociate yourself from your thoughts, you start to realize that, your thoughts, they're just happening, right? They're just chemicals coming through. Sometimes we think God's talking to us. Sometimes we're just remembering stupid things. Sometimes we're that little monkey just like slapping our tambourines together, whatever those things are called, right? But the reason we have to start when we're discussing identity and how to use identity for success is we have to understand that if we take that step back and we realize that we are the observer of this reality, that then we can actually take control of reality, right? A lot of the times you guys will realize that the news, content, the world is trying to make everything black and white, ones and zeros, right? Or, Republican, Democrat, black, white, straight, gay. And the reality is like, there is no finite things in life. Everything is gray. There's always this gray area, right? So in order for us to really take control of our lives, we have to first understand that we can attach ourselves to anything that we want, right? So there's the first reality that says that nothing matters, therefore, we can do whatever we want. But then there's the other reality that says nothing matters, so then we can actually be the best version of ourselves. There's no reason that we can't be a good person. There's no reason we can't help other people. There's no reason that we can't love exponentially. There's no reason that we can't be more than we are right now, right? So whenever we're trying to understand how to use identity to be successful, we have to understand that first we are the observer. We are not this human being. We are not this. We are the thing that just watches the reality that's having this experience with consciousness, right? This physical world, this internal world, it's all happening and we are just observing it. And we can actually start to understand that if I am able to not get attached to my thoughts, not consistently be affected by my surroundings, then I can actually take a step back from the noise, right? And I can start to say, okay, I can orchestrate this life. I can take control of my life and I can finally do what I want with it. Okay. And that's where the beginning of the conversation of identity has to start, is understanding that you are incredibly powerful and that you can do anything you want in this life. And then that understand that you don't have to get emotional about everything. You don't have to attach yourself to everything. You don't have to assume that because these things happen to you, that this is how your life has to be, right? This is kind of just a side note, but it's like your ego, I kind of like the metaphor. Ego stands for edging God out. I don't know if you believe in God or not, but whether or not, it's interesting that whenever we start to disassociate ourselves from our identity, the little voice in our head will start to bring up our past, right? It'll start to tell us all the things that happened to us in the past, things that affected us in a certain way back in the day. And then we associate that with our identity, right? Whenever you go to a party, you have that small talk. It's like, where are you from? What do you do? Tell me about your kids, like stuff that is not necessarily you, because in reality, we're all weird. We all have these inner worlds, these inner conversations, these inner issues and inner things. And the only way that we can really start to actually take control of our lives, though, is to understand that we can begin to shift our identity into something different. Okay. So the first step, again, was understanding identity. And I don't know if I did a good enough job of understanding it, but your identity is essentially who you believe that you are, right? It's how you present yourself in this world. It's kind of like the story that you're telling yourself, right? We're very story-based creatures. We have a lot of images and pictures in our mind, but more or less we're telling a story about ourselves. And I believe the identity is the hero in that story that you're telling, or the villain, right? There's always two side tracks. You can either have the identity of a victim or the identity of the hero, right? And I believe that you should always be going towards the identity of the hero, and your life can start now. But once you understand that the identity does not have to be attached to anything from the past, doesn't have to be attached to anything in the future, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Now we can start to create a reality that we love, something that we actually care about, something that we really want to get into, right? And this is how you use identity to become successful, right? And you have to first know what you want. That's always the biggest problem. It's like, First, I just wiped away your reality, right? Nothing matters anymore. We're not attached to anything. We're just observing everything. We're just some meat suit in this weird world that we don't understand. But then you start to understand, no, now this is a step that I can actually take control of my life, right? But you have to know what you want, first of all, because you have 24 hours in a day. You can do anything you want for those hours in the day. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. But if you want to do more with your life, if you want to be successful, if you want to have those positive experiences that others have had, you can do that too. So then you have to get really specific with what you want your life to look like, what you want your life to become. And if you can really get nitty gritty with it. And this is where manifestation and all this other, stuff kind of can come into play. But it's just kind of like, if you think about what you actually want all the time, if you go to sleep thinking about what you want to do tomorrow to get what you want, if you wake up in the morning, you think about and take action on what it is that you want in your reality. And if you stay consistent with it for a long enough period of time, it will become yours, right? Plus you have this identity of somebody who's going to do this, of somebody who's going to win. Now there's a lot of stigmatism when it comes to fake it till you make it. But what I believe is you're actually supposed to fake it until you become it. Okay. That's the big shift. It's like, you don't want to just make it. You want to become the thing, because life doesn't give you what you want. Life gives you what you are. Okay. So if you can identify as, let's take a couple examples. If you can identify as a winning day trader, right? If you can identify as a highly paid, successful podcaster, if you can identify as somebody who's actually doing something, and then you can make your actions become in alignment with those things, now you're taking control of your life, right? So the first step, again, is dissolve your identity, dissolve your ego, and understand what you really want to become is the next step. So it's understand identity, remove yourself from the current identity. Now get crystal clear on what it is that you want, right? Write it down. And then what I like to do, or what I learned from one of my mentors, I forget what it's called, like Miracle Morning or something on my YouTube channel. But you basically write down who you are becoming and what you want to become with your life. And then you really just want to think about these things all the time, and you want to start to take action. Now, a lot of these peoples and a lot of these gurus, they'll tell you, make a 6-month plan, make a 3-month plan. And I don't know, our life is moving so rapid that the only thing that I can consistently do is take control of the day, right? And this goes to the Japanese word. I forget what it is, actually. It's like Ikaji or something like that. I can't think of the word, but it just means improving a little bit every single day, right? Kaizen. Sorry, that's what it was. Not Ikaji. Kaizen, but improve a little bit every single day, right? This is what you want to do with your life. You want to understand that you can create a new identity and then have a map of exactly what you want your life to become, and then break it down to the simplest thing that you can do every day. And some people say, oh, well, I can't become a famous rock star, every day. So I guess you can. You can write songs. You can basically anything you can do with a pen and a pencil. Even just visualizing is something that you can do every day. And you have to do it every single day. I don't care if you only have 1 minute a day. You need to spend 1 minute a day on your dream, 1 minute a day working on your new reality, 1 minute a day creating this new life that you want to create. And then our natural instinct, or our natural ability is, if you just do 1 minute, 1 minute will get boring. Then you'll start doing it for 2 minutes a day. Then you'll start doing it for 5, 10 hours, right? Multiple hours a day. And then your whole life will become this thing, because you've slowly dipped into this new reality, and you've created this thing that you actually wanted, and you took action on it. Right. And one of my biggest things that I've noticed from all of my successful mentors is they take immediate, intelligent action. Okay. So whenever you start to create this new reality, create this new life that you want with these goals and these big aspirations, and you start today, God will not reward you until you take action, right? You will not get anywhere unless you start to put in the work and you start to take the action. But as you start to take the action more and more and more, this is going to change your life. Now, I did skip over one thing that I think is actually very important. So again, understand your identity, really get crystal clear on what it is that you want with your life, but then also understand your human nature. Now, this kind of goes against what I was saying, how we are just the observer, but there are certain things that you are naturally gifted to do. There are certain things that come easier to you than other things, right? Speaking comes a lot easier to me than writing, right? I grew up with dyslexia or, learning disabilities, and writing takes me twice as long as it does for me just to communicate. Now, this actually became my gift because it made it that I had to become very good at communicating so that people would understand me, because I didn't have these other methods to do it as well, right? So there's certain things in your human nature that just come easier to you. And when you finally get these things in alignment, right? When you finally have your goal of what it is that you want, the identity of the person that you want to be, and it is all in alignment and you're going with your human nature, life starts to flow a lot easier than if you're going against your identity, against your human nature, and you don't have a direction that you're going with your life. You can see how there's two different options there. It's get in alignment, figure out what your human nature is. And a lot of people are young or they just haven't done enough stuff and they don't know what's in their human nature. And my response to that is start doing shit. Go out there, change your life, take massive action, and get to work on experimenting with as much as life as you possibly can. And you will naturally start to discover your human nature. Okay. I'm not saying go do all the negative stuff, but that's part of life too. So do whatever it is that's going to give you the most clarity on what you like, what you don't like, what you're good at, what you're not good at. And then as soon as you can start to put these things together, right? As soon as you know what you want to do and you know how you can work on it every day and you understand things that are naturally in your human nature, now you can really start to craft the identity of somebody who does these things and is living this life, right? And you can start to identify, because it's not just good enough to do this. You also have to identify as somebody who's going to win, okay? You have to win at this game, okay? Maybe it's just to have an amazing family, but even that you can win at, right? You want to identify as somebody who wins these things, right? So they say that you are the combination of like the 5 people you hang out with, right? So if the 5 people you hang out with are not successful, are not winning, are not doing what what they could be doing with their lives, you need to get out of that environment, because you need to be in an environment with winners, right? And let's say you don't have any winners, then you need to read books, right? This is the power of books, is you need to tap into the consciousness of other people who have been successful at the thing that you want to be successful at. You need to learn how they think. You need to learn how they live. You need to learn what actions they took so that you can mimic those sort of things, right? We're very mimicking creatures, monkey see, monkey do, right? So whenever we really want to take action and change our life and have a breakthrough in our life, we have to understand how to use identity to be successful. And the way that you use identity to be successful is, first you have to know what you want, right? You're never going to hit your goals if you have no idea what they are. You can get even more crystal clear. I mean, literally, we paid Grant Cardone $40,000 to be a business coach, and all he did was tell us to look at the numbers and then get even more intense onto the numbers, right? So that was kind of an eye-opening thing where it's like, you think you know what you want, you can get even more detailed on what you want. You can get down to the nitty-gritty date and time and down to the smallest little things of what you want in your life. And when you finally do that work and you really understand what you want in your life, now you have a direction that you can go in and you know which way you can finally start to take action, right? And then you can create the identity of somebody who's winning at these things that you really want in your life, right? And when you start to have all these things in line and you actually have clarity on what you want and you're going with your human nature, this is how you can use identity to become wildly successful. Okay. And you have to understand, when I say identity, you want to create this character and you want to fake it until you become it, right? You want to understand, though, what have people that have been successful in this field or this thing prior to me do? What did they do every single day? Like let's say they wanted to be a speaker. Well, they started just by memorizing quotes, right? Then they started to build up their persona and write their own messages. Then they started to speak in front of places for free, right? And then when they finally did that enough, then they started to get paid. Then they started to become famous, right? That was me thinking of Les Brown's story just now. But that's like, what you want to do is you want to break the things that other people that have done whatever it is you want to do down to the simplest form, right? And then you want to start to implement that every single day. And then you want to identify as somebody who does that thing, right? If you're trying to lose weight, you have to identify as somebody who goes to the gym, You have to identify as somebody who eats well, right? You have to identify as somebody who cares about their health, right? So these are the things that you have to do. And then you have to make it as easy as possible to do those things every day, right? Whether it's just wake up and put your shoes on to go to the gym, right? Or you just start working out at your house, right? Whatever it is. And then you have to start to identify as this person, and you have to take action on these things every single day. All right. So that was a lot. But that's my thing on identity. And I thought this was a very interesting topic. Again, I don't want to do these podcasts to argue with anybody. I mostly just want to make you think, right? So if I've made you think today, I think that was a success. But I do truly believe that there's something inside of this identity complex that's going to allow you to be successful, right? And allow you to grow exponentially. And I think you have to identify, number one, you have to have a growth mindset, but you also have to have this understanding of yourself on a deeper level on what it is that you want, right? So that you can truly take control of your life and become the version of you, the greatest version of you that you deserve, right? So you have to love yourself, but you also have to understand that your identity is whatever you want to make it, right? So if you can identify as somebody who is truly successful and truly is going to get whatever it is that you want out of life, you will start to take action and you will start to do those things. Now, if you identify as somebody who does this, but your actions are counter that, then you're never going to get there. Everything has to be kind of in alignment, right? If you're in alignment, though, there's nothing that can stop you. If somebody else has done something that you want to do, then you know that it's possible, right? And that's pretty much today's message. So I thought this was cool. I'm going to chop this up, make it into some reels, turn it into a podcast. And yeah, if you're listening or watching out there, check out powerbrokers.io. We got an amazing mentorship going on right now. Check out financiallyabundant.com and then check out The Lion Show as well. My name is Robert Lyon. Let me know if you like this kind of stuff. And I look forward to talking to you guys in the next one. Peace.